I suppose I should start with a short summary of my life. I don't really feel like doing that, so I shall skip to the present. I run a reading group with several other women in the town of Newsome. Every Saturday, the members come to my house to discuss a novel, chapter by chapter. We're currently reading Pride and Prejudice. I thought it would be fun, but then I realised that everyone was a friend of Eliza Frame. Eliza does not like me. God knows why she joined the reading group. If she dislikes me so much, why join in? It's beyond me. But she does not like me. That much she has made clear. Always making comments about the state of my house. This week, she had the almighty nerve to complain about my window curtains. "They're practically falling to pieces. No wonder you're not married," were her exact words as she rifled through them, revealing the inner, "I keep those curtains in that position for a reason," I wanted to say. But I bit my tongue. Who does she think she is, the curtain police? It was trying enough when it was only Eliza, but now the others have been doing it. I have essentially been shunned out of my own group. Funny how the amount of work I did organising everything get forgotten and replaced with old curtains and teacups being the wrong colour, or whatever it is that isn't up to Eliza's standards. It's all gossip and politics, my word against theirs. I generally keep to myself, so no one really knows me. But they know her. Of course they're going to listen to her. I recently read about the effects of venting one's frustrations onto paper, of writing to no one with no intention of seeing the light of day. Sounds a bit doubtful to me, but I'm willing to try it. After I finish writing this, I'll go to the forest, just beyond the post office, and leave the envelope under a rock, where it will decompose. I'm almost at the end of the page. I thought this would work with helping to make me feel better, but it's not the same as actually writing to someone. It's like shouting down a hole. You're letting out your frustration, but no one can hear you. I'm not depressed. I'm angry. People hate me, and I hate them. I'm stuck having to see them every day at the shops, at the library, at the book club. And people are talking about another war possibly happening. Everything just feels so uncertain. I am rambling at this point, and I am wasting my time. I am wasting postage stamps and envelopes. But if you're going to do something, I think it's important to make a proper job of it, including a return address and everything. If I'm going to be accused of one thing, it's not going to be of doing things by halves. Thanks for nothing, Angela Bard.
Dear Angela Bard, thank you for your letter. This Eliza Frame sounds like a right serpent. Forgive me if that was too far. I generally keep to myself as well, and I often wonder how out of practice I am with even the smallest interactions. Your letter has interested me strangely. Please, write to me again. Yours sincerely, Mr. Devere.
To Mr. Devere, what kind of joke is this? Who are you? My letter interests you strangely. Well, the feeling's mutual. But you cannot expect me to continue writing to a perfect stranger. I don't know anything about you. For all I know, you could be some sort of dreadful con man. I don't know if I trust you. You wrote that you keep to yourself? Tell me, how is it that I don't recognize your surname at all? even if you're a recluse, surely I would have at least heard of you. Tell me about yourself. What's your daily routine like? Angela Bard. P.S. I hope that I can trust you won't tell Eliza or anyone else about my letter.
Dear Angela, it seems as though you have, unwittingly, given a lot of information to a stranger who hasn't returned the favour. I agree that that is unfair. I shall use this letter to remedy that. You requested that I write to you a recount of my daily routine. It took me a great deal of thinking to try and make this letter not bore you, but if I have failed, please forgive me. I suppose I should write to you about today. I took a walk through the northern part of Ardmore Forest, taking in the tree-scented air. It's the kind of air that can feel icy down in your lungs in the morning, but I strangely enjoy it. There isn't a path where I go, but I know the forest very well. To the north, there is a very old yew tree, so big that the span of my arms cannot reach halfway around its trunk. At some point in its lifespan, it began to lean, and now it tilts to a degree that almost seems to defy gravity, looking as if it could fall at any moment, but never doing so. It is beautiful. This yew tree creates a nice patch of moist shade that is perfect for growing mushrooms. I collected some. These were a variety of Scarlatina bolete, a round, plump mushroom that tastes excellent when cooked, and then went on my way. My days involve a great deal of walking. I leave my home, a furnished cave well hidden in a large rock face, and take a wander. On other days, when there's too much rain, I'll stay inside, reading and drawing. While I generally don't leave the forest, I have all I need. I find some interesting curios around the forest. A dropped book here, an abandoned picnic basket there. My home even has a phonograph in almost perfect condition. Several winters ago, I was lucky enough to discover that a human had left an almost unused case of painting supplies. Intrigued by the opportunity, I tried using it to paint. My first attempts were quite alarming failures, but I continued to practice. What you are holding in your hands is the fruit of my labours. As I am writing this, I realise how much I'm leaving out. Let me tell you the whole truth here. You've probably noticed how I've used the word human instead of person. I may as well tell you now, instead of you inevitably piecing it together. You see, I'm not what you'd call human. There's no silver-tongued way of putting it. You'll want proof that I'm not mad as a hatter, of course you will, so I'll provide it. When you slumber tonight, I will send you a dream. Don't be stressed. I mean you only well. Please. Yours sincerely, Mr. Devere. P.S. I have a plan at getting back at Eliza, if you're interested.
To Devere. Despite my assumptions, I'm convinced. At first I thought you were perhaps a friend of Eliza's, that you were trying to play some sort of mind game with me. But after a night of trying to sleep, I finally did. And what I dreamt felt so real. I was walking through the forest, in a clearing. I found an ornate table holding a tea set and a serving tray covered in cakes. I somehow knew it was for me. I sat down in one of the chairs. When I did, something inexplicable happened. As happens often in dreams, the teapot rose up and poured a cup for me, and a cup for another. You were invisible to me, but I knew you were sitting in the other chair. I looked down at movement on the ground. I could see your shadow and I saw horns. I had visions of fur and wolves' teeth and wings made out of feathers. I think I know what you are. But strangely, I did not feel afraid. Nor do I now. Do you understand? I enjoyed our tea party. After seeing both your letters, I was inspired to make my own illustrated envelope. I tried to draw the dream you sent me. What do you think? I have lots of questions. Can you do other magic? Do your letters go through the postal service? What do you look like? How old are you? I'm sorry if I'm being rude. I just want to paint a picture in my mind's eye. So you like taking walks? I was born in Australia, but moved to Scotland when I was a wee child. In Australia, my parents would have me go on long hikes with them in the bush. And we kept this tradition in Mull. I think I complained about it as a child, but now I look back at it fondly. I live alone, which I like. I don't mind the isolation. In fact, I enjoy it. God knows why I wanted to start a reading group with the other women in the town. Which, once again, brings me back to the subject of Eliza. What do you have in mind for getting back at her? Signed, Angela.